Good morning, guys. So this morning I am going to go ahead and tell a story from the Western State Mental Hospital. I would say this took place about a year and a half ago. There was this girl, I'm not going to name any names. She was a probably 5 foot African American girl. She was in her 50s, but me and anyone else who met her thought she was in her 30s because I don't know what was going on, but her body she had superhuman strength and was constantly, fighting with severe mental illness. But she was really annoying. She was constantly harassing people, constantly doing all sorts of stuff. And she was also constantly apologizing because it was like split personality. So I constantly felt bad for her. I was constantly a target of her harassment. But one day, I will name this woman. This woman's name was Susan. She worked at the hospital. She was actually one of the RNs who was in charge of the hospital. And she was yelling at Lynn, which is good. Lynn needs people to yell at her occasionally because she screams and says all kinds of very racist, terrible things. She's saying racist things against the black people that work there. But anyway, it's just, it's sometimes yelling at her is necessary because it's how she responds to it like a child. She like freezes and listens. So that part I'm like, okay, sometimes someone needs to be yelled at to get them to listen. But as she was escorting Lynn to her room, I saw with my own eyes that she shoved her with full force into the room. And this girl, Lynn, is 5 foot tall. Sue is, I don't know, she has an accent. She's also African American. I don't know. There's so many different places in Africa someone could come from. But so she was probably almost 6 feet tall, and she fully leans in, like I'm talking like one knee fully bent, both hands leaning in, shoves her into the room, and Lynn runs forward and catching herself and almost tumbles forward and hits her forehead on the stand. And it was just insane to see a nurse treating a patient that way, no matter how annoying the patient is, because they have patients there that are violent. Lynn has this patient that I'm not going to mention has broken people's hands and noses and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, so yeah, the nurse Susan attacked this patient that will not be named, and I reported it immediately. I got every single other patient who was there, because the patients don't really know how to stand together to stop these things from happening. So while I was in there, I actually became like the ward president at one point, and then RAC representative, because I found out that had more influence in like getting things done. And so I would like record things, take things down, take things to the DRW, which is like an organization that's supposed to be helping us, and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so we got Susan at least moved to another ward. That's the thing about a state hospital job, is they don't fire you. Like literally, there's people that have had sexual intercourse with patients in the bathrooms and got transferred to another ward rather than fired. So, yep. And I got out about 5 or 6 months ago. I was in there for 2 years and in jail for 1 year. Yeah, that's just the story for the day. Name's Josh, and yeah, that's about all I can think of. So have a great day. Bye.